It might surprise you, it certainly did to me, to learn that Israel has the highest poverty rate in all developed nations. 1 in 5 are living under the poverty line. And because of this, Crossroads Relief and Development has partners with Leket Israel to help change that. Joining me is Joseph Gitler, the founder and chairman of Leket Israel. And Joseph, welcome to 100 Huntley Street.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Now, you've got American roots. You were from New York. And then why did you go to Israel?
Well, it's been the Jewish dream for thousands of years to be able to go back to the Holy Land. And I'm one of the few lucky ones that has been able to accomplish that, especially from our part of the world, where not that many people make it.
Why did you get involved with an organization to help feed the people of Israel? Was there something that, you noticed it, or was that why you went there? What was the story there?
It's interesting. I went because Israel has been a dream, but also because Israel has become such a developed nation, so I didn't feel like leaving the U.S. to go there would be a big change. And in that, I've been correct. Unfortunately, though, because Israel has been so wonderful in accepting impoverished Jews from so many countries throughout the world over the last few decades, we do have a serious poverty issue. And I came to Israel not knowing and not even expecting that I would necessarily get involved in that. But unfortunately, in the violence of the early 2000s, I started to notice more and more people who just couldn't make a go of it. And one day I announced at the tender old age of 25 that I needed to do something about it. And I left my past career and I just decided to change paths.
What was your past career?
Well, I had a brief legal career and a brief high-tech career. It's almost hard to call them a career when they're as brief as I made them.
Yeah, you're 25.
So maybe not fair to people who've toiled for years to say that. But I just felt in my bones that I had accomplished this dream of making it to the Holy Land. The land, as we say in Hebrew, Eretz Zavat Chalav Udvash, the land of milk and honey. And I, like you and so many around the world, were so shocked and disturbed that so many of our brethren were living in poverty.
And it does make sense. I know when I first heard those statistics, it surprised me. But then you think of from, former Soviet Union and all the Jewish people coming back, Ethiopia and other places. The economy, they didn't have jobs, maybe the training. So what was it that you decided to do? Because I know it's more than a food bank. And it's got one of my favorite Bible stories, the Book of Ruth.
Right. So we are really, in many ways, following the story of the Book of Ruth, which are ancient precepts, again in Hebrew, Leket, Shikha, Upeah. You heard the Leket in there.
Leket?
Leket.
Okay.
And what these precepts were, they told the ancient business people who were farmers how they had to work with the poor. I'm sure you remember leaving a corner of the field, not picking up what falls out of the wagon. And we've modernized that for a modern economy, which has figured out how to produce food without abandon, in massive quantities, and yet in countries like Israel, like Canada, like the US, we produce so much food, and yet we have people who don't have enough. So what organizations like Leket do is figure out the logistics. How do we get food from those who have it to those who don't? We stand in the middle with our tens of thousands of volunteers, with our more than 100 staff members, with our dozens of trucks, and figure out how to get that food and how to move it to agencies who feed the poor. And those could be soup kitchens, Meals on Wheels programs, homeless shelters, after-school clubs for kids, you name it. And we do that throughout the state of Israel, from the south to the north.
And we're talking somewhere in 200,000 or something people that are being fed?
Yes, Leket is impacting about 200,000 people.
Wow.
It's a big number. It's a big burden also, but also an honor and a privilege to be able to doing this kind of work. What keeps me up at night is that 200,000 is only a small percentage. You said 20% of Israelis living below the poverty line. Our population is over 8 million. I'm not that good at math, but I know that's more than 200,000.
Yes.
Okay, so we have a lot of work to do. And the beauty of what I do in Israel and what the Leket team is doing, and every business person who's watching this show would probably love to be in this situation, we have no competition. There is no one else in Israel who is trying to work with the army, corporate cafeterias, hotels, farmers, importers, manufacturers to make sure that their excess food doesn't go to the waste. And the reason for that is the logistics are complicated.
I would imagine, yeah. Now, we're talking also thousands and thousands of volunteers, many evangelical Christians from Canada. So, I mean, you have a special place in your heart, I'm sure, for the Christians and for the Canadians.
Well, I'll start with Canada because my wife is Canadian and my 5 children are Canadian. Certainly a special place for Canada right off the bat.
Right, yeah, absolutely.
And then our many supporters in Canada, Jewish and evangelical, who come to Israel and not only support us financially, but get their hands dirty. And I always say there is nothing like seeing an evangelical group in the fields, connecting with the land, picking to help those in need, Jewish, Christian, Muslim, whoever is in need in the Holy Land. It's a very powerful piece of missions that come to Israel, especially from our Canadian friends.
Now, we don't have too much time left, but if somebody wants to get involved, I mean, we're involved here at Crossroads, and you're a valued partner, and I know our Canadian friends love the Holy Land. We pray for the peace of Jerusalem. What can they do if they want to get involved with Leket?
So I really see 2 ways to get involved. One is when you come to Israel, come get your hands dirty in our farms, in our warehouses, meeting those you're helping. It's really a privilege to be able to do that. And then, of course, we need financial support. Right now, I'm focusing my energies on growing our base of trucks. We need new trucks, and that's because every day I have more army bases, more hotels, more corporate cafeterias actually calling us and saying, Leket, when are you going to have the resources to come to us? They know there's still demand for the food, and what everyone in the world wants is to see their hard work not go to waste. So if you're a hotel chef, nothing pains you more than seeing those beautiful foods you made go in the garbage. So they very much want to see us expand and feed more. So I hope those watching this can lend us a hand in whatever way they can, in whatever numbers they can. I promise you, we'll put it to good, honest use.
Well, it's good to go visit the Holy Land, which I've had the opportunity to do, and you get to see the sights. But to actually see a Bible story, in a sense, come to life in the book of Ruth, and certainly we can learn a lot as well here in Canada because there's a lot of waste as well. Joseph, thank you. It's great to partner with you.
Thank you so
and
much.
We'll look forward to seeing you again soon, and either there or here. And again, it's a privilege to be able to partner with you. Anyway, thank you for your time today. And again, let's make sure that we continue to pray for the peace of Jerusalem. And if you need a prayer request, if there's something that you're going through today, and if you just want to agree with somebody, our prayer lines are always open, 1-866-273-4444. And we'll have more of 100 Huntley Street right after this.